Sunday morning cold, eyes on the score, touchdown dance ball, craving for more. Friends are calling, trades are on fire. Rookies falling, championship desire. Fantasy football fever, chasing the dream. Top of the leaderboard, we're the winning team.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Healers Podcast, a show that is the NFL Draft. That's right. This episode is going to be about the first round of this year's NFL Draft. We're going to tell you tomorrow's news today. So get ready to buckle up and have a fun time. If you're listening to the podcast, I encourage you to look us up on YouTube. Just look up Fantasy Football Healers. If you're having a hard time finding it, just go to any of the podcast episodes and click in the details YouTube link, and it'll take you directly there. I'm Dustin Brown. I'm your podcast host, and you can find me at FF Healers, and you can find our co-host, Colton Palmer, at FF Captain 22 on Twitter X. Enjoy the show. Welcome in, Colton.
Man, I've been looking forward to this day for months now. Ever since the season ended, I'm like, when's my next good point in time for fantasy football? And I'm like, Dustin's bringing of the draft, and he's going to tell me exactly where all these guys lands, and he's going to tell me how I feel about some or not some of these guys and how I feel about them. So since I know these landing spots a week ahead of time, I'll be able to determine where I'm going to actually put these guys in my rankings.
Yep. And so for those that haven't joined us over the last 2 years, this is our third year doing this podcast. The first year we did Back to the Future, where we had the Sports Almanac that told us what was going to happen next week at the first round NFL draft. Last year we did I'll Be Back to the Future, featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was awesome that he was able to give us the time that he provided for us to tell us 1 through 32 for all those picks. And then this year, Colton, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I'm not really sure what to expect. There's going to be just a lot of anticipation, but I will say I got my invite for the Huddle Reports first round mock draft as well. So I'll be posting the results from this mock draft, and that's what I'm going to submit for the Huddle Report, just like I did last year. Last year, I scored 1 point behind Chris Collinsworth, who's ahead of Fantasy Pros, and obviously he's one of the lead and analysts and broadcasters for NFL Network.
Pretty impressive, man. I can't believe that you're actually scoring that high with how great these are. But I mean,
I gotta thank Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, he was the one that gave us the news.
For those that haven't tuned in, everybody knows how great these are. And this is the only time I can say that I'm like a Packers fan, and I enjoy the cheese.
That's a good one, Dad.
Thank you. It's the only time those words will ever come out of my mouth, ever.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to actually watching the draft with you also, Colton. Just next week, Thursday. It's coming right around the corner. We're 6 days away from that. But I don't know about you, but something's getting kind of grainy here, Colton. I can't quite see you.
They thought they could keep me from the ultimate power, time, the power to control, the narrative. That hedgehog may be fast, but he can't outrun time. I have cracked the ultimate code. I'm going back to the exact moment the 2026 NFL Draft began. I will reveal the entire first round of the NFL Draft before that windbag even opens his mouth, to prove I am the only one capable of predicting anything. Also, to make a killing on prop bets. I have mastered time, and to prove it, I will not just tell you the picks, I will illuminate them. Activate the multi-universal Carey Capillaire.
I don't know what just happened there, Colton, but somebody just took over the draft. Who was that guy?
You're gonna have to cut out so much of me just crying. I'm laughing so hard. Incredible work. Incredible. A+ already. I don't even care. We can end it right here. It's beautiful.
I thought you would appreciate the mustache there, Colton. It looks like Dr. Eggman has taken over this draft, and he has clicked the Jim Carrey coupler or something or another, and I don't know what to expect in this podcast or in this mock draft. It's going to be craziness.
My eyes are watering, man. I can't. Oh, let's get into it. I'm ready.
Oh, you know what? I think the draft is starting here, Colton. Welcome to the draft, Colton. It's happening. We're here.
This is incredible. How much did you pay your kids to help record?
Most of these recordings I did solo. I will say my wife helped me with the recording for a part of that intro.
Incredible. Oh my gosh. I am so stoked.
Colton, I think the Raiders look like they've maybe made their selection already. This could be a mystery.
Yes, NFL. What has a golden arm, a Hoosier's heart, and is about to make the AFC West lose their minds? With the first pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana.
You heard it. The Riddler. He's presented the draft, the first round, first pick. The Raiders are drafting Mendoza. Surprised?
Honestly, this is about the only one I have that I know for sure of what's about to happen in this draft. So pretty obvious to me, and it's going to happen. Place your bets now.
Well, apparently Dr. Eggman's putting in some side bets because he's getting all the news ahead of time, so he'll be ready for next week, Thursday, so we can make some cash. And maybe we should too, Colton.
We've got the results already, man. About to see him now.
All right, the New York Jets are on the clock at pick 2.
This one goes out to all the Jets fans. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friends. We could cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in. And if you do not want to see me again, I would understand. I would understand. I would understand.
All right, David Bailey gets drafted by the New York Jets.
What can I say? One of the most underrated Jim Carrey movies of all time. Yes, man. One of my top favorites. Top favorite movies, if you're just feeling good. Perfect selection for the Jets fans in terms of the song. But I'm just glad to see it's not one of my favorite wide receivers from this class going there. And hopefully this reigns true that they don't pick one of our favorite wide receivers, number 2 overall, and ruin our hopes and dreams.
I think they have another pick later on in this first round, if I'm not mistaken.
That's okay. It may not be one of the top 3 is what I'm hoping for, but we'll find out.
So the Jets are getting a blue chip pass rusher to anchor their defensive unit. And remember, last year they sold their entire defense. So this is a huge pickup for them. They need to get a cornerstone defensive player if they want to eventually compete in the NFL. David Bailey, he's dripping with athleticism. He had a 4.5 40-meter time. That's 98th percentile at the position, 96th percentile speed score. He may be the most explosive pure speed rusher in this class. All right, you heard it, Colton. Looks like the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock, and they have made their selection.
Good morning! And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. The Cardinals draft offensive tackle Francis Muaga, Miami.
You heard it. Arizona Cardinals, they drafted offensive tackle out of Miami, Francis Muaga. And the Cardinals, it looks like they're going to be building their foundation by getting this guy in and helping protect on the offensive line. And an offensive line that's been kind of a revolving door at the right tackle position. Muaga fits in really good here, and he's widely considered maybe the best run-blocking tackle in this year's class.
It all starts there, man, at that line. You know, once again, I'm just keep on coming on with the players that aren't fantasy relevant for me.
So far, all we have is Mendoza, and we've already know that he's the guy for the Raiders. They do have Kirk Cousins now, though. They do have Kirk Cousins.
You like that? You like that?
The perfect combo, two goobers there in Las Vegas. They won't get in trouble, that's for sure.
I think we talked about it the last podcast. I've seen people fuse their faces together, and they look so similar.
It's wild, man. Just Kirk Cousins Jr. over here.
Hey, I will say the NFL draft should go a little bit faster coming on Thursday. I heard that the first round has been they decreased it from 10 minutes per pick to 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so that could decrease some of the trade times.
I mean, yeah, sometimes it's just they're doing that to keep people's interest, because sometimes it's like just drags out as they're trying to get these picks and stuff traded around when someone's still on the board. So maybe it'll just kind of spice things up.
They'll still have plenty of time for advertisements.
Plenty of time. You know they're on the phone constantly.
All right, we've got Tennessee on the clock. Let's see what happens here, Colton.
Goodbye, my love! Hi! Mary! Jeremiah Love goes to the Titans!
What can I say? It keeps getting dumb and dumber.
Dumb and dumber. Jeremiah Love, he's getting selected by the Titans. They need all the offensive weapons that they can get, and they get the best running back in this class by a long shot. The consensus 101 in all of our rookie drafts, Jeremiah Love. What do you think about this landing spot with the Titans?
Honestly, man, I don't hate it. You know, the Titans have at least shown that they're trying to invest and bump this offense up. I like the new additions and their coaching staff being Dayball and Robert Saleh as the head coach. So I think it's a good landing spot. Well, it's not the greatest landing spot, but it's not going to kill him in terms of do I like him or not. So it's all right. Not my favorite, but I think he's going to be just fine.
We've got to be seeing some of these guys go off the board at some point, right? And he is the best running back in this class by a long shot. There's like a huge cavern between him and the RB2.
Yeah, absolutely. And so he's one of the best options for offensive weapons out of this class in general. So he's going to be going high, and someone's got to take him, and I'm glad he just lands here.
It's a pretty good spot, I think. They don't have anybody else, so they're going to be just peppering this guy.
They don't have anybody else, and they're trying to get some slack off of their, going to be sophomore quarterback in Cam Ward, and I think Love is really going to help take some heat off of him, and we might see better things coming from this Tennessee team.
We've got the New York Jets coming up here at pick 5. It looks like they're taking their time here on making the pick. What do you think the Giants are going to be doing here at pick 5?
I don't know, man. It's rumored just crazy stuff. I know they were looking at running backs, but hopefully that's just blowing some smoke at us. But they could definitely use some more receiving weapons, so we'll see.
We're going to have to see what happens here. I've also heard, they could be a potential maybe trade back if they're not liking what they're seeing on the board. There's a couple other teams that are going to be coming up. There could be some definitely potential here with the Browns or the Saints or maybe even the Washington Commanders are also rumored to have a trade back. So let's see what happens. It sounds like the Giants are making their selection.
Who's invited me down there on such short notice? Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again. 7 o'clock, wrestle with self-loathing. I'm booked. And what is this? The Giants taking a linebacker when they need a wide receiver? Arvell Reese out of Ohio State? Well, that isn't good for my fantasy teams.
Arvell Reese, he gets drafted. Doesn't sound like the Grinch is very happy about this, but it sounds like it'll help the Giants' defense as a whole in what seems to be a competitive division now.
I mean, it's about humbug on everybody's fantasy minds. They finally get the quarterback that we all like in Jackson Dart there, and I wouldn't mind seeing a wide receiver go to him, but you're right. Defense does win games, and John Harbaugh is now their head coach, and he likes a good, strong defense. So I could absolutely, I see it going this way. I'm with the Grinch though.
You would have been probably a much better voice in for the Grinch. You have a great Grinch voice. I was trying to do my best Colton impression.
It's one of those things. It took a lot of practice, and I watched the Grinch like 5 to 6 times every single Christmas season. So it's taken a lot of years to build that up.
Yeah, but as you said, John Harbaugh is now the coach. He is a defensive guy. He's a special team type of guy. Arvell Reese has been compared to Micah Parsons, like a hybrid. So there's going to be a lot of athleticism there. There's going to be a lot of dynamism. The Giants are expected to shift to a 3-4 hybrid scheme in 2026. And Reese's versatility at both the off-ball linebacker and a stand-up edge rusher can make him like a natural fit for this defense.
Hate, double hate. Load entirely.
All right, it looks like the Browns are on the clock, and franchise that is the Browns. Enjoy the ride. See ya.
Okay. You said Loki was a night god. Maybe it only works at night. We gotta free it. Freeling. Monroe. Freeling.
Looks like the Browns are following the footsteps of the Cardinals. They're going offensive tackle to build their foundation. They now have a protector of the football that is going to be the blind side for the Browns, even though we don't know who their quarterback is even going to be for the Browns, but they're going to have that offensive line to at least hold up against the defense that is the AFC North.
I hope your family watched you make some of these. It would just make me so happy. it just make me so happy. Yeah, I mean, this is the right direction for them. I don't want them to ruin one of my top wide receivers. Like I said, they've got the running back, and they're looking towards the future for their next quarterback. No need to spend it. Just boost that lineup, do the right thing. So I love it.
I thought they were going wide receiver there at that pick 6. I mean, they definitely have a need on their offense, but fortunately for our fantasy football teams, they didn't make the selection there at pick 6.
Just loving it.
And again, who the heck is the quarterback? It sounds like they're going to try Deshaun Watson again.
I mean, time will only tell, my friend.
The Washington Commanders are going to be picking here at pick 7. let's see what happens. It's been an interesting ride so far here, Colton.
Excuse me. I'd like to ask you a question. Who are the Commandos drafting? Holy Testicle Tuesday. It's Carnell Tate.
We finally see one of the wide receivers get taken by the Washington Commanders, a team that desperately needs wide receiver help. And Colton, they asked you a question. Do you like Carnell Tate in this spot with the Commanders?
I need a minute. All right, composure. Composure. Honestly, yes. This is where I am starting to feel okay.
Are you feeling kind of gassed over there, Colton?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a minute. This is where I'm starting to feel okay with the wide receivers starting to fall. In terms of my top ones here, you know, they've got the quarterback established. We like Jaden Daniels. We see a wide receiver room that is aging out or not great. So you got Terry McLaurin, but he's going to be going to his 31-year-old season.
Yeah.
So he's starting to age out. He's going to need help. They're going to need a future star. We'll talk about our wide receivers coming up. This is what I predict as the first wide receiver coming off the board is Carnell Tate, but I'll tell you for fantasy-wise, he's not my favorite.
That's interesting, Colton. You're going to have to keep us on that little bit of a tease until
Yes,
we actually go over our wide receivers. And I apologize to the audience. We wanted to get the wide receivers out prior to the NFL draft, but it doesn't sound like we're going to quite make that jump. The New Orleans Saints, Colton, are here and they're drafting. I don't know if are they going quarterback here, Colton? Is it too early for them to go quarterback? Oh man, but honestly, they need wide receiver help. They need running. Well, I guess they don't need running back help anymore. They do have Travis Etienne. What kind of player are you thinking that the Saints have picked?
First of all, did you hear it is now Travis Etienne?
I did.
Just for further clarification. But yeah,
it's confusing for me, Colton.
It is. It's very
Achan was supposed to be Achan down in Miami, and he's not even Achan.
Yeah, it's interesting how it's Achan, but that's what he wants, so I'll try to give it to him.
I'll try my best. We've only been saying his name wrong for 4 to 5 years now.
Yeah, I'll just probably keep messing it up, but that's just me. I totally think that they are going to take a little wide receiver help here. They have a very solid wide receiver, but that man gets injured a lot, and I think they need somebody else aside from him to take a little bit of heat off of him. So Chris Olave needs somebody on the other side of consequence. Now they did bring in Devon Bailey and trade for him, but he got injured. But he started to show a little promise, but I just don't think he's that guy. So I can see him really going wide receiver here.
Well, and I heard so many people say that Carnell Tate was going to make it to the Saints and match up with Olave, and we just saw Tate just get picked by the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it, but if he gets picked up there, I don't know which wide receiver they would take out of my my last two. So let's find out who they get.
All right, let's tune in.
I'm a genius! Stone! Log into my FanDuel account. We're gonna let it ride on Ruben Bain Jr., edge to the Saints.
Oh, they didn't go offense there, Colton. Looks like they went with Ruben Bain Jr. And it sounds to me that they're replacing Cameron Jordan, who's been an essential piece on defense, and Ruben Bain will fit right into their defensive schemes.
Honestly, you can't be mad about it. They do. They have a stud in Chris Olave. They just need a supporting piece. So if they see it fit that they think Chris Olave can stay healthy, I mean, and they want to boost up that defense, I do get it. But it would just be cool to see him get Tyler Shuck, another weapon.
Kansas City seemed like they made their decision pretty quick here, Colton. Is Kansas City one of those teams that is also in the market for a wide receiver?
I mean, you already heard it, man. Rashi Rice wants JSN money, and that, my friend, is
What?
just absurd. You didn't hear about that report? Yeah, he said he wants
No!
he wants JSN money, is what he's thinking. And so they are totally in the market to offload him and all his problems, especially if that's the money he wants. So I could see him going wide receiver and saying, Rashi Rice, you go find yourself a new team, our friend.
Well, just like Rashi Rice, the Kansas City Chiefs have raced to the podium, and they went up there pretty quick.
Work. I set him up, you knock him down. Colton, I got her back for you. I juiced her up. Free cable is the ultimate aphrodisiac, Colton. I know. I felt bad about the other night. I wanted to make it up to you. So, what are you doing? Want to catch the draft? Oh, I see. You called up Caleb Downs, not the cable guy. My mistake.
Some pretty classic people that we're seeing up here, and what do you think about the cable guy's choice there, or maybe whoever called him down? It sounded like he made a mistake. It's actually Caleb Downs and not the cable guy that the Kansas City Chiefs have drafted.
It's definitely an interesting choice. It'd probably be the most Kansas City choice of all time. Let's just not fill our wide receiver room. You know, we got 38-year-old Travis Kelce out here. What do we need a wide receiver for? I don't know how old he actually is. He might be 37. So
It's right around that time, yeah. But he did sign a 3-year contract.
Yeah, so that sounds like the thing they would do is just keep on boosting things that aren't their wide receiver core.
Yep, and Caleb Downs is, yes, the brother to Josh Downs from the Colts.
Really?
Yep. Yes, he is. The Chiefs have added a major piece here for their defense, and their division seems to be ultra competitive right now with 3 major teams, and then you've got the Raiders that are in rebuild mode, and they could make a huge jump after this year's draft.
Yeah, I mean they did lose their star safety, so it does make sense to go and replace him with Caleb Downs here.
Bengals at pick 10.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go off and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
Sony Styles is going to the Bengals. Sony Styles, linebacker, Ohio State, is now a Cincinnati Bengal.
Oh, I mean, this only makes sense. I would prefer them not. I'd prefer them not to boost their defense because I just love it for fantasy-wise. It's just beautiful when the offense is so good and the defense is such dog doo-doo that it brings us sweet, sweet points in fantasy. But I get it. They got to do it. They have Joe Burrow. They have Jamar Chase. They have T. Higgins. They cannot waste these guys' whole career on just saying, hey, we'll just keep riding the back of our offense and hopefully they can outscore the other team. But makes sense. And Styles, from what I heard, I don't follow defense as much, but what I heard, he destroyed the combine. So
at the combine, people wouldn't stop talking about Sonny Styles and his athleticism metrics, and it sounds like he had excellent interviews. I mean, he's getting taken top 10 at pick 10 with the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that is desperate for defensive help, and it sounds like this is a guy, because of his athleticism, he can go from boundary to boundary. He can make the tackles. This team was completely dreadful when it came to tackling defenders, and that's what boosted the scores on the opposite teams, which made the Bengals have to throw the ball and score you fantasy points. So I see your argument in a fantasy football stance, but this is an NFL team, and they're going to make NFL decisions, and that's why they're taking Sonny Styles here at pick 10 overall.
makes sense.
It sounds like he's, again, an impressive player.
Stargate, Captain's Log 23.9, rounding up to the nearest decimal point. We've traveled back in time to save
an ancient species from total annihilation. So far, no signs of aquatic life, but I'm gonna find it. If I have to tear this universe another black hole, I'm gonna find it. I've got to, mister. Dolphins fans, gotta be sour, 'cause they let everybody go. Sour like a lemon. Mackay Lemon.
Another wide receiver taken to a team that desperately needs wide receiver help. What do you think about this pick here with the Dolphins?
I know it's coming. I knew it was coming that they're going to take a wide receiver. You know, the
They needed to.
The good news is this is all they've got as of right now. I project them to take more than one wide receiver out of this draft class. We will see more coming from this draft class. But the good news is he's going to be the only one, so he's going to be the instant one. So I don't hate it, in fact. But it's going to be another tank for two a year, and they're looking to the future for another wide receiver, I think, or for another running quarterback. I just went
that was a great callback to the tank for Tua era. And if people, that was about 8 years ago or 8 to 10 years ago now. There's people that are playing fantasy football that are watching Tua and they're like, this guy's awful. But there was a time where a team like the Dolphins, they were the Dolphins that tanked the year before in order to draft Tua Tagovailoa for their QB1, and he was supposed to be the future of their franchise.
What was supposed to be, and now they're looking to the 2027 draft class for their future quarterback.
They're supposed to be loaded at the quarterback position.
That it is. So they should just enjoy this 1 year there at quarterback, tossing it up to Lemon, and whatever wide receiver they take next.
Dallas Cowboys are like Dallas is making their selection, Colton.
They interrupted you.
I thought so. That was a little bit rude of them.
It's the most Jerry
Hear
Jones
the
thing
most
ever.
annoying sound in the world? Duval! Righty then. I think it's time to wrangle up the Cowboys pick. Mansour Delaney, LSU cornerback.
That's not where I thought it was going, Colton.
That's not the way I thought it was going at all. He is right, though. That is an annoying noise.
Yeah. Well, and for Liam Cohen, the way he said it was Duval.
Duval. He's a weird dude. He knows ball, though.
He does know ball. He helped get the Jaguars back on track. He got Trevor Lawrence back on track. They must feel comfortable with their offensive pieces at this point in time in the draft. They're going with Mansour Delaney for the Cowboys. I got mixed up between I thought we were talking Jaguars, and they don't even have a first-round pick. So that's why I was sounding confused there for a second. I was like, wait a minute. What's going on here?
No.
It's the Cowboys. The Cowboys are drafting Mansour Delaney, LSU cornerback, to help boost up their defense. And even though they moved on from Micah Parsons last year, they still put together a pretty decent defense for most games.
I mean, I would disagree. I think their defense was terrible, which is what I loved about the Cowboys once again. Their offense just had to keep moving the ball because their defense was so bad.
It was bad at the beginning of the season, but the second half of the season, it seemed like the defense was starting to mesh, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they did get better as the season progressed. At the very beginning, though, it was just pure fantasy beauty as they were so bad. They did start playing much, much better towards the end, but it only makes sense for them to keep boosting it up just because of that fact. They've got offensive weapons. They don't need it. So they just keep boosting that D.
But Mansour Delaney, he's a lockdown corner from LSU. He's a clean technician. And here's an interesting stat, Colton. In over 350 coverage snaps, he was not called for a single penalty on any of those snaps. Delaney, he fits the Cowboys' ball hawk defensive play style. And in 2025, he allowed just 13 receptions all season long with 0 touchdowns. So this is a guy that this defense desperately needs. Again, not a fantasy football benefit for our teams, but a good football move by the Cowboys.
That's some wild stats he's carrying with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how amazing is that? It sounds like a guy that's going to fit in for that Micah Parsons role.
Mm.
The Rams are selecting at pick
Start with something
13.
small. The color of this pen is. Okay, now focus. The color of this pen is. The color in this pen in my hand is royal blue. It's blue. It's blue. The goddamn pen is blue. And so is Jamad McCoy, because he's being drafted by the LA Rams, for God's sakes.
So the Rams are not drafting wide receiver. This was a team that I keep hearing everywhere that the Rams need another wide receiver. Perhaps they want to move back, get the second quarterback in this class. Maybe they'll trade back in for another quarterback because they still have Stafford. They seem to be in a win-now mode, and maybe that's why they're going with Jermod McCoy out of Tennessee, the cornerback. And he's going to establish himself here, and it sounds like he's going to be a good fit for the Don Shula McVay system. McCoy, he can press man, and he also has elite ball skills. He had 4 interceptions and 9 pass breaks, but that was back in 2024. He got injured last year, and so this may be one of the reasons why he slipped down here. He's going to be like a high-risk, high-reward player for the Rams organization.
Yeah, everyone that keeps mocking wide receivers to the Rams, it just confuses me. I don't understand why they would. They've got Puka. They still have Devontae Adams, who didn't slow down last year. You know, so I understand this pick completely because I don't think they need that wide receiver help, especially if they're going for it, man. It's not like they were a wide receiver away last year in the playoffs. It was their defense that couldn't stop the Seahawks. So they really need to boost up. I really like this pick for them, so actually, even though it's not a fantasy asset, but, you know, it's actually just a good football pick.
Yep. So don't be surprised if the Rams aren't picking a wide receiver here at the 13 spot because, I mean, we're hearing it from Dr. Eggman. He's getting all the results for us right ahead of time so that way we can put the prop bets in. And everyone that keeps mocking the wide receiver to the Rams, they've obviously not been playing fantasy football for the last 2 or 3 years. Have you tried playing Jordan Whittington? Have you tried playing Tutu Atwell in any of your receiver spots? I have, and it's been scary every time I've had to play him. You either hit or it's like a dud. Most of the time it's duds. And I don't see the infatuation with the wide receiver spot here. And a lot of teams, nonetheless, are going to the 12 personnel packages.
Well, that and the fact that they let Cooper Kupp go just a year. They had a very solid wide receiver. They just let him walk. Why would they come back to the drawing board? If they thought they were good with Devontae and Puka and they didn't need Cooper, why would they go to the draft board and waste such a high valuable pick on someone that's not going to be, you know, like productive for year one potentially? So I don't get them mocks for a wide receiver.
It's a new era for the Ravens. They are now, for the first time in 17 years, it's not John Harbaugh behind the scenes. They now are making a switch in their direction, and it makes this draft that much more interesting because we don't know what is their values for this team. And one of the ways that you can figure out how teams are valuing players and assets are through the NFL draft, through free agency, and through trades. And so this is going to give us a little bit of a glimpse into the Ravens' new organization.
The chances are for a guy like you and a girl like me ending up together. Come on, hit me with it. I've come a long way to see ya. I can handle it. So you're saying there's a chance? The Ravens are drafting Keldrick, Falk, Edge, Auburn.
Oh, they're going defense, and that is such a Ravens move, going defense, especially when you've got a top 15 pick in the NFL draft. They're getting edge. They're trying to make a presence here with their defense. Falk, he is like a Hulk, like an incredible Hulk. This guy's massive. He's 6'6", 276 pounds. He's got a 34-inch arm length, and the size makes the perfect fit for the Ravens 3-4 base defense as either a 5 technique or like that heavy edge set player. So he also, Colton, provides a lot of leadership skills. He's known to help out in the community, like community work, and he's famously using NIL money to help a walk-on teammate pay some of his tuition so he could be on the team. So he sounds like a straight-up guy, which is really neat to see. And that might be the one difference that I'd say about these defensive players for the Ravens. Maybe they're looking for better character. What say you, Colton?
I mean, this is honestly a team I was potentially thinking for the third wide receiver to come off. They haven't had a wide receiver of consequence. Zay Flowers is fine. Bateman. Rashad Bateman hasn't been anything. He was a first-round draft pick from a long time ago, and he's just never come to fruition. So I really thought that this was going to be a potential spot, but you're right. It's the most Ravens thing to do is defense. Did you see the win numbers came out just last week, and Ravens are favored to have the highest win number.
I don't get that. They
11.5 or something like that. I'm like, this team has got a new head coach, and I could see. I'm betting the under, honestly, all day.
Under exceeded expectations for the last couple seasons, and we don't even know if Lamar Jackson's healthy.
I mean, maybe it's to speak for their division. The Steelers lost Tomlin. They have the Browns. They have the Bengals. So maybe it's to speak for that. But
even with that, they didn't make the playoffs last year, Colton. They missed the playoffs. Yeah. And they had those 3 teams in their division. They missed the playoffs.
So I don't understand that win total for me. I'm going to be betting the under. So you heard it here first. Bet that under. Bet it.
I bet Dr. Eggman is listening in here right now, Colton. He's writing down notes.
Yes, he is.
All right, we've got at pick 15 the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm really curious to see what their pick is here.
The Bucs are drafting Denzel Boston?
What the heck? Denzel Boston is getting drafted to the Buccaneers, Colton. It looks like they're looking for that big, wide-out receiver that can go up and get it and fill in for that Mike Evans role. Doesn't look like you're very excited about this one.
I'm disgusted by this one, in fact, actually. We'll find out later on about how I feel about Denzel Boston, but this is a nice preview of what I think.
Give us a hint here, Colton. I don't know about Denzel Boston. It doesn't sound like you like him.
How we felt about Teteroa McMillan last year, imagine that times 5. He's just a big dude that just bullies people, and I don't think it's going to work in the NFL. And I don't like it for this Bucs team. They're trying. I understand why they would do it, trying to replace that Mike Evans role, but I don't see Denzel being. He's not Mike Evans, and it's just not going to work. I don't think, and I hate it. I'm grossed out.
It's definitely an interesting move. I've heard that a tight end position was potential for here. There were some people saying maybe Sadiq would go here, but they did re-sign Kate Otten, and we talked about Sadiq being just that move tight end, and I'm not sure if he really fits with this scheme because the Buccaneers seem like they use like a conglomerate of wide receivers. We've seen a ton of wide receivers with this team.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of options here. Chris Godwin is still there. You got Ibuka. Kate Otten. So I think they do need a future pass catcher whether it's tight end or wide receiver. But Boston ain't it for me, man. Not it.
See who's picking at number 16. If I'm seeing this correctly, it looks like we're waiting. Oh, this is the New York Jets here. Maybe this is your wide receiver that you're waiting for here, Colton. You're so excited, I can see it.
I have many teeth, but never bite. I help you move, but I have no feet.
What am I? A cogs. Or in Caleb's case, the new gear in the Jets' defensive machine. Caleb Banks. Caleb Banks, come on down.
Caleb Banks is being drafted by the Jets. He is a defensive tackle out of Florida. They go defense again.
The sweat's gone. I was holding my breath through that whole one because I don't want it to happen. I don't, and I'm okay with them boosting their defense. They got rid of all of it, so that's fine. I'm fine with this.
I mean, you got some sweat stains going there from that wide receiver that you. Who do you think that wide receiver was going to be that was going to the Jets that was getting you so sweaty?
Jordan Tyson is a name we are still waiting on in my big three. So he's the final one that I like, and it's going to be sweaty on where he's going.
We have another.
We have met the halfway point of this mock draft. That was pick 16. We've still got a lot of picks left. Pick 17's up right now with the Detroit Lions.
Excuse me, miss. That's a lovely accent you got there. New Jersey? Oh, Austria! Have another shrimp on the barbie! The Lions are selecting Hakeem Mesidor, Edge, Miami.
Team Mesidor, he's bringing a compliment to Aiden Hutchinson, which could rattle the NFC North. The NFC North remains very competitive, and Mesidor appears to bring the edge literally and figuratively to the Lions.
Yeah, makes sense once again. Get that defense. They've got a lot of great offensive weapons. Obviously, they have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They've got Jameson Williams still for another year. Isaac Tesla. So definitely boost that defense. I like it.
Oh, you know who's up right now. Pick 18. It's Minnesota Viking time. Let's go. Woo! Let's see who we're drafting. Let's get this. I'm so stoked right now, Colton. I cannot wait to see who we're picking here at pick 18.
What a sports nut, huh? Do you want a cookie, son? Laces out.
Dylan Theinman, he's a safety, and that is exactly what the Minnesota Vikings need. We have gone a long time without requiring any assistance at the safety position. It's like 15 years, Colton, since we needed a safety, because Harrison Smith is now retiring from Minnesota Vikings. He hasn't officially retired yet. I think they're waiting for like that June date of some kind that's arbitrary, but regardless, they're moving on. We need some defensive stability, and it looks like the Minnesota Vikings, just like the Lions, are building up their defense because this division is one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. The Minnesota Vikings were only a half game out of making the playoffs just last season, and the Lions weren't that far behind. What do you think about this pick?
Yeah, I mean, happy retirement to an absolute Vikings legend. It's rumored, but it's got to be true. He's been in the league forever, and he started as a Viking and he's ending as a Viking, which is absolutely incredible for being in the NFL as long as it is. But yeah, they got to backfill that spot, and so a safety here makes absolute sense. So I like the pick, and Skol, baby.
Let's exactly, yes, Skol, Colton, and I can't wait to celebrate with you next week when they make this excellent pick. The Panthers are up next, pick 19. Let's see how they continue to ruin this franchise. such a terrible decision. Remember, it was just, 2 years ago when they traded back in to pick 32 overall to get Leggett because they needed that fifth-year option? Awful. I remember just laughing my tail off seeing that pick. Oh, man. I hope they don't make such a blunder again.
Stop the mocks. I told you all back in January, and you all laughed. You said, oh, doctor, the Panthers, they need a tackle. They need a receiver for Bryce Young. Wrong. Dan Morgan doesn't want a ballerina at pick 19. He wants a monster. He wants a culture shifter. He wants the man who treated the SEC like his personal playground. Look at this man. Look at the extension. He's 6'6", 262 pounds, with 33-inch vines for arms. That is Zion Young, the Missouri Edge, and he's the pick at 19. The doctor is in, the pick is in, and the Panthers finally get it right.
Panthers win defense. They win edge. And I'll say this and I'll say it again. In the first round of any NFL draft, the players that you should be targeting are edge, tackle, quarterback, and in some cases wide receiver. Outside of that, like, safety's not traditionally a player position that a team should be drafting in the first round of the NFL draft. So let me at least say that. In regards to the Minnesota Vikings, it was a need. They must have thought that somebody else was targeting him, and that's why they ended up staying pat. But in most cases, this is actually a really good pick by the Panthers at going edge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it at all. They found out that Tedoroma McMillan is good, so the super high need for a second wide receiver isn't there. So I would understand why they don't go here for a wide receiver. And, I mean, honestly, they just got to boost that defense. They made the playoffs last year, and so they got to be able to stop other teams. And, I mean, they stuck it to the Rams twice in the season. I mean, they beat them the first time, and then in the playoffs ultimately got beat out by them, but they were up there with them. So, you know, getting that piece on defense to help stop the other team absolutely makes sense.
And if I recall, I think the Panthers were up most of that game against the Rams during the playoffs.
You are correct.
That was a scary time for any Rams fan. But I can't help but notice that Zion's last name is Young. I don't think that he's related to Bryce Young because this guy's 6'6".
Monster of a human being, my goodness. Huge.
A big man.
Big boy.
The Cowboys. Here we go, Colton. The Cowboys. Pick 20. We still are waiting for that name that you're waiting for.
I don't really recall what her name was. Start with an S, though. Sippy, Slappy, Simon, Swimmin, Swenson, Simpson, Swanson. Oh, I got it right here. Samsonite. I was way off. A new start with an S, though. Huh. Must be unlisted. Huh. I also see Jordan Tyson here's going to Dallas.
There's the name you were waiting for here, Colton. Jordan Tyson is now a Cowboy.
Whew. I don't hate it, but the implications of it means, are we seeing a goodbye to George Pickens in Dallas here? I mean,
I don't think so. Do you really? He played so well, and he was targeted. And Lamb, they lived in harmony together.
I mean, if they go Tyson, are they going to have three wide receivers like this, man? I don't know. That the fantasy implications of this would be absolutely wild. Just because that's three. I mean, three
first round wide receivers.
What I believe in Jordan Tyson, we'll talk about later, but I believe he has all the skills to be a stud. So that would just be absolutely wild to have on one team, and I mean, a lot of mouths to feed. So we'll see when this happens what they'll do with Pickens.
I think it's going to be a really interesting spot, and I'm not really hearing too many people talk about a potential landing spot for Jordan Tyson or any of these wide receivers to Dallas. But can you name Dallas's wide receiver 3 otherwise? Tolbert, he's no longer with the team.
Oh, Tolbert is not.
No, Tolbert, he's in Miami. He's soaking up the sun, Colton.
Well, yeah, could not name it then.
I can because we're, the fantasy football healers. Ryan Flournoy, and he had some flashes last year, but he was more of a fill-in guy.
Yeah, I know the name.
Excellent flashes. He had like a 20-point game or two last season in fantasy football.
It's definitely a fluke.
But I mean, he's going to take a back seat to Tyson. What do you think there?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know if I love the fact that Tyson would be wide receiver 3 for his first year. I mean, he's definitely not helping you year one if they keep all 3.
Yeah, well, and Pickens is at least would be signed for the year because I think he's under the franchise tag right now. Is that accurate? And so I think what you're saying is that Pickens isn't long for the Cowboys. Is that accurate? That you're thinking next year in 27, he could potentially be gone, and then you got yourself Jordan Tyson.
Correct.
But haven't we seen this before with JSN that we're like, oh, there's too many mouths to feed, and then next thing you know, the sea spreads, and then JSN becomes a wide receiver 1 for the Seahawks.
Yeah, you see that, but I don't see him overtaking CeeDee Lamb. The Seahawks never had like a stud. I mean, they had Metcalf and why can't I think of his name right now? But they had
Taylor Lockett.
Lockett, thank you. They had Metcalf and Lockett, and I mean those two guys aren't like super studs like Lamb is. So for the time being, it would be wide receiver 2 behind Lamb, but still not a bad spot. I like Dak Prescott. The offense moves the ball, so it wouldn't be a bad spot to be a wide receiver 2 in.
So, we're on pick 20 right now. We're still waiting for Pittsburgh to figure out what they're doing. Out of the wide receivers that have been drafted so far in this NFL mock, which wide receiver are you feeling most confident in if you had to draft him early in your dynasty rookie drafts? And reminder, Tyson is with the Cowboys, Lemon is with Miami, and Tate is with the Washington Commanders. Oh, and Boston. Denzel Boston's with the Bucks. Can't forget about him.
I think that with the way this draft is shaking out, and if I'm in, it depends on if I'm contender or rebuild mode. Rebuild, I'm sticking with Tyson, Lemon, Tate. If I am a contender, I think I'm going to go Lemon, Tate, Tyson.
Okay. Going for the opportunity share. Is that the thought there?
Correct. I think because he steps into the 1 instantly. He's going to get targets instantly, year 1. Target. So that is the absolute opportunity you have ahead for year 1 if you're just a wide receiver away. With Tate and Tyson there, they do have some extra mouths, a couple of extra other mouths to feed in terms of, Terry McLaurin's still there, and there would be Pickens and Lamb for Tyson. So that's just the way it would shake out in my head, depending on where I'm at.
Steelers are staying pat. They're making a pick here, Colton. This is going to be an interesting moment in the NFL draft because do they do the Kenny Pickett thing and just get a mediocre quarterback here, or do they pivot and do something else?
They already have one. They already have a mediocre quarterback.
Who's that?
Howard.
Okay. Will Howard. I mean, he was real. I can't even say it with a straight face. That NFL Combine, I mean, people are hooting and hollering for him. They were so excited about him, both the Michigan fans and the Ohio State fans.
Yeah.
He was a 6th-round NFL draft pick just last season. So, and Aaron Rodgers still is not signed yet with the Steelers. We do not know what's going to happen there. And Kirk Cousins, no longer an option.
So we'll see what they make here.
Don't mind me, Mr. Quinn. I'm just a curious little rhino.
Kind of hot in this rhino. Must have air. Call the doctor. This rhino is breaching. Caden Proctor goes to the Steelers.
Colton, I think your screen seems to be frozen.
I had to mute my mic. I snorted right into it.
Caden Proctor, he gets drafted guard tackle out of Alabama. Let me just talk to you a little bit about him while you're.
Did you pick Proctor due to Did you pick Proctor due to proctologist?
It fit perfectly.
Just lines up.
These Jim Carrey multiverse people, they have got it set here, Colton. The Steelers had a huge need at the offensive line. Their offense was stagnant without wide receiver weapons. They had the second highest NFL team score of 12 personnel. The only team ahead of them was the Bears. They used their tight ends to do all the dirty work. Now they're upgrading their offensive line, and they had added a weapon in Michael Pittman. But this team still doesn't have a quarterback yet of consequence. And I guess now that they got Proctor, maybe they'll draft back. Maybe they'll come back in and trade up and get maybe a quarterback of consequence, whoever the quarterback 2 is in this class.
I mean, we'll see. I can't get past all the butts that I've seen so far.
Go back, watch this podcast, see Colton's expression when he first views this last video. It looked like a little bit of confusion, and then all of a sudden it was like, boy, it's hot in this rhino. And he's like, oh, I know what's happening here.
Instantly. Who picks next?
He's moving on. The Los Angeles Chargers. Pick 22, Colton, the LA Chargers. Who would you like to see land with the Chargers here? What if it was an offensive player?
Honestly, at this point, I don't care. At this point, it doesn't matter to me because I don't think it's going to be anyone that I'm fond of.
All of your top receivers are taken at this point?
My top receivers are gone for at least with the Chargers in terms where who I think they would pick.
Okay.
I have a neck, but no head. I have 2 arms, but no hands. I'm with you at every game, but I never play. What am I? A jersey. Which Spencer Fano will be wearing in Chargers powder blue very soon.
Looks like they went tackle. They had a lot of tackle problems last year. There were so many injuries. They could not recover as an offense. In the first month of last year's NFL season, the Chargers had the most passing yards out of any team, and it wasn't even close when they had their offensive tackles available. They ended up having a ton of injuries. They lost both their tackles multiple times throughout the season. And by the playoffs, they looked like not even a shell of themselves. They were barely competitive when the season ended because they didn't have time for Herbert. Herbert, as you know, he's also a quarterback that tends to get nicked up all the time. So once he's nicked up, he's not the same guy. So they can have all the offensive players around him, but if he doesn't have the time, he's gonna find the ground.
I truly love this for all of my Chargers love for Herbert, McConkey, Hampton. I love this team and their offense, and they just, yes, like you said, they've got to keep Herbert protected because beginning of the season, this team looked unstoppable, and then their line just fell to pieces, and so did the team. So if they can just keep it healthy, keep this offensive line healthy, and get it going, my goodness, this offense is going to be incredible, and that means incredible points for fantasy. So Amari and Hampton to the roof.
Philadelphia Eagles are selecting at pick 23.
It's everywhere. Don't you see it? The Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912. 4 plus 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 9 plus 1 plus 2 equals 23. The 9/11 attacks on September 11th, 2001. 9 plus 11 plus 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 equals 23. The Eagles drafting Kenyon Sadiq at pick 23. His jersey number, 18, plus the letters of Sadiq, 5 equals, you guessed it, 23. I can't get this number out of my head.
Do you remember that movie at all, Colton?
I do remember that movie, actually.
It was a good one to slide in there.
It was beautiful. Loved it.
Kenyon Sadiq is drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe they've re-signed Goddard, but Goddard, he's had not a very good bill of health in the last 5 years. It always seems like he gets peppered when he's on the field, but when he's off the field, they don't really have a tight end that fills in for him and makes the plays like Goddard. So this sounds like this is a guy that could potentially be behind Goddard, that when given opportunity, he could provide fantasy value.
And it's another sign that A.J. Brown is just out the door, man. Just another sign, another pass-catching option for the Eagles. I do want it to be known out there. I have joined you in your party. I've got Stowers over Sadiq, man. I've revisited.
Welcome to the club.
It's a good club to be in. It really is. I feel better. So I would actually prefer them take Stowers here. But that's just me. But he just has massive upside with the athleticism, so I do get the appeal.
But to be fair to our fantasy viewers, we're not dropping Sadiq down too far. I think I had him as my tight end 2 now. At one time I had him at 3 or 4, but then I had to move him back up. There's just been so much hype. He gets the draft capital now. I mean, you've got to at least have him in your top 2, I think. And I think the Eagles are a good organization. And you made a great point there, Colton. This looks like it's another step for A.J. Brown out the door. It just sounds like it's just one of those handshake deals that'll get done once that certain date is required.
Yeah, absolutely. Just another telltale sign.
The Cleveland Browns are going to make their number 2 selection at pick 24.
Golly gee, okay. It's our turn, fellas. Cleveland's on the clock. Now we're looking at the boards, and there's a young man just sitting there from Utah, Caleb Lemieux. He's 6'6", 313 pounds. And he's a pass-blocking machine, and it's kind of like a warm hug for our quarterback. He doesn't even allow that many sacks, only 2 last year. I think we should just... Pipe down, soft serve. You want a warm hug? Go buy a sweater. The Cleveland Browns don't need a hug. They need a bodyguard. Listen up, Dog Pound. This guy is going to be our pick at number 24. He's a blindside assassin, and that's Caleb Lemieux. He doesn't just pass protect. He erases hope. He is our structural anchor and our foundation. While you idiots are chasing wide receivers that can't catch a cold, the Hank is here, and we're going to tank the guy who modeled his game after Joe Thomas. He's got the feet of a ballerina and the hands of a bricklayer. If any DNs try to sniff the pocket, Lemieux is going to put them in the dirt and leave a tip. He's a redshirt sophomore with a mean streak that makes me look like a Sunday school teacher. Oh dear, did I just say that? Anyway, he seems like a lovely addition to our offensive line. Welcome to Cleveland, Caleb Lemieux, offensive tackle from Utah. I hope that you like pierogies.
Love it. Honestly, I'm not mad because I have one last receiver that I really like, and he didn't go to Cleveland, so it's beautiful.
Ooh. Very nice. But again, this looks like another foundational piece for the Browns. It looks like they must have had a lot of worries on their offensive line, and they're trying to build for the future, it sounds like, Colton, and I think they're doing it right here.
I think they are too. Maybe finally Cleveland gets it right without going for the splash pick to sell some jerseys. We'll just see if it pans out for them.
We'll see. Speaking of seeing, let's see what the Chicago Bears are going to pick here at number 25.
Attention, citizens of Chicago. I have come to make an announcement. Your defensive line is a joke. Your gaps are wider than Sonic's ego. And your run defense is as flimsy as a motobug. But that ends tonight. With the 25th overall pick, the Chicago Bears select Hayden McDonald, defensive end, Ohio State.
Guess the North continues to get defense.
I mean, it's a big theme of this draft class, if anyone hasn't noticed. Lots of defensive players and lots of defensive implications here coming out of this draft class. So it only makes sense. The North has become a brutal division. Didn't think we'd be saying that a few years ago, but it is a brutal division right now. So you got to try to stop that other team.
Absolutely. And the Bears, my mind keeps telling me that they're going to trade for Max Crosby at some point. I feel like everyone keeps saying Max Crosby. It sounds like he's settling back in with the Raiders. But I've always had the Bears as a team, and I have them kind of circled. If anyone's going to make a trade for him, I feel very strongly that Max Crosby would end up with the Bears.
That is a possibility. Seems like he's settled back in, but, man, he was not happy and hasn't been happy. So I could see him moving on still.
Well, we're moving right along here. The draft is going fairly quick here. The Buffalo Bills are on the clock. Pick 26, Colton. Who would you like to see the Bills take?
I've got a wide receiver in mind. I do know they already have DJ Moore, and I think this guy's play style is similar to DJ Moore. So I don't know if they exactly go for this guy, the guy I like, but I could see him bolstering that wide receiver core if they're going offense. Mm-hmm. If not, they do need a strong defense too. So
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance. I know there's a lot riding on it, but it's all psychological. Just have to be in a positive frame of mind. When I execute a hook pattern in super slow will. Now let's see that in instant replay. I'm not crazy. The Buffalo Bills are selecting Omar Cooper.
Looks like they went wide receiver. It sounds like it's maybe a different wide receiver than what you thought. Omar Cooper is now a Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the guy that I wanted. Like I said, I've got one last wide receiver that I really like, and it's not Omar Cooper. So I do understand. I know a lot of people are high on Omar Cooper Jr. We'll get to my take on Omar Cooper Jr. at some point coming up shortly. But it's an okay. They do need wide receivers, so I get it. But that would not have been my pick.
I think it's safe to say they're moving off of Keon Coleman.
No doubt. I think that is coming no matter what. So, yes.
The San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. Pick 27. Mr. Samsonite, about the briefcase. My friend Harry and I, we have every intention of fully reimbursing you. Go ahead, open it up. Do as he says. That there, sir, is as good as cash. Those are IOUs. Go ahead, add it up. Every cent's accounted for. Look at this one. It's an IOU. $275,000 for a car. You might want to hold on to that one. Oh, and this one here. It's a loan to the 49ers. Olavegalone. He's a guard, Penn State. Okay. They're building their line also, Colton.
Absolutely makes sense for the 49ers. Brock Purdy got injured last year, and they do have a solid backup to back him, and they did fine. They made the playoffs. But still, you got to keep your quarterback healthy, and got to keep Christian McCaffrey healthy. And keep giving him lines to run through. So definitely makes sense. I don't mind it, and they don't need really weapons here right now. So makes sense.
They could use. I think they could use maybe some tight end help or some wide receiver help. Their defense played really well. You got to give the 49ers credit. Last year they had so many injuries everywhere. The only guy that didn't seem to get injured was Christian McCaffrey, who every fantasy player was concerned about getting injured. So
the one guy.
The one guy. And Mac Jones, he played very well as the second quarterback on this team. And no wonder Shanahan doesn't want to let him go.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. They've got a solid backup behind Brock Purdy, but if you give any, middling quarterback time, he can still play well too. So just all the more reason to keep boosting that line.
Pick 28 with the Houston Texans. They're a team that it has been rumored to maybe be a team to trade back if a team has any interest for a player of consequence. And let's just see here if the Houston Texans are here to make their pick or whether they're going to trade out.
Riddle me this. I have no feet, yet I run through the hills. I have no teeth, yet I swallow the fields. Men chop me down to build their own homes. But I am the place where the predators roam. What am I? The woods. Specifically, Peter Woods, the versatile force out of Clemson, who can line up anywhere to hunt down the quarterbacks.
Texans are going defense here. They went with a couple wide receivers last year out of Iowa State. We're seeing the Riddler again, and his riddles have been something else. But Peter Woods is a defensive lineman from Clemson, and he is the guy that the Texans are deciding to pick, and he may be their long-term, inexpensive anchor on this team.
I love the Riddler ones, man. But yeah, once again, it makes sense that they've got a tough defense, so just keep on bumping it up.
Keep on keeping on. See, what are we at here, Colton? This is pick 30 already? This draft is starting to wind down. No, this is pick 29. We can't skip pick 29.
Got room for one more? If you want to still go to Kansas City. This bike? Got it from some kid in town. Traded the truck straight up for it. This hog gets about 70 miles per the gallon. Settle up, partner. Let's go take Colton Hood to Kansas City.
Well played, Jim Carrey. Well played.
Very well. Very well played.
The Chiefs are going defense again, Colton. They went safety with their first pick with Downs, and now they're going with Colton Hood, cornerback.
I mean, this only tells us that maybe Rashee Rice is long for this team, but maybe they can talk him down off a little bit of that money. Let him know he's not JSN.
I think they'll have some opportunities to negotiate. All they have to do is wait for one more little skid in the tires, and they have all summer that he has to get through in order to make those negotiations happen, Colton. I don't know if he makes it the rest of the summer without getting caught in legal trouble again.
Definitely not.
Now we're on pick 30, Colton. Pick 30. We've got 30, 31, and 32 left of this draft. It's been a blast so far. I can't believe how fast it's going. We've got the Miami Dolphins here making their second selection in this first round draft.
You want to talk to the dolphin? You talk to me. Do you have a dorsal fin? Do you train the dolphin?
To train the dolphin, you must zeke like the dolphin. You must be inside the dolphin's head. You say to Snowflake, "Agay, agay, 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 agay," and he says, "Agay, agay," and he goes on the tail. You go, "Ee," and you could quote him. He just drafted Eli Stowers.
Holy cow! The Dolphins get our number one tight end, Eli Stowers, a team that is desperate for pass catchers. They go Lemon, they go Stowers. I'm pretty excited about this Dolphins team all of a sudden.
I honestly don't hate the pick. I don't hate the landing spot for Stowers. It's once again walking into a position. The same argument goes for Lemon. They've got nothing else. They're going to have to utilize him in that way. So I love it. I love that pick, actually.
That was pretty amazing.
Great pick.
New England Patriots at pick 31.
There's something on the wing. Something is on the wing. It's right there. Elijah Surratt.
The Patriots continue to build their wide receiver core. They traded for Dobbs. They may trade for A.J. Brown. It's still not didn't happen yet. But Elijah Surratt is now a Patriots wide receiver. Is he going to be a successful Patriots wide receiver being drafted, or is he going to fall down the line of the many others that were before him of the Patriots wide receivers that just didn't quite make that leap that you'd like to see?
I think it's that situation again, man. I just don't know if he's going to be – I don't know if Elijah Surratt's that guy. It's still not the guy that I was thinking of. So, with the way this draft is shaking out, maybe I need to rethink my wide receiver rankings because of this, because draft capital does matter. And so, maybe I need to go back and rethink some things, but still not the guy I was thinking.
With the final pick in this year's NFL draft, at pick 32, the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock, and it sounds like they either made the selection or they traded out for a team that is desperate for a position of need.
32 is always a gamble. You're often choosing between the best remaining blue chip defender or reaching for a position of need. Avion Terrell at pick 32 represents a high floor, high IQ pick that keeps the Seahawks defense elite. But now, it's time to return back to my time.
And just like that, Dr. Eggman has vanished. Just gone.
What? He's gone.
It just happened.
He's gone.
It just happened. Oh, man, there were so many people that have said about Jadarian Price getting drafted here as a thought. They only have like 3 picks in this whole draft. Trading back would have made a lot of sense, in my opinion, for the Seahawks, trying to accumulate some draft capital. But I will say they made a pretty good choice here. There's some people that say that Avion Terrell is the number 1 cornerback in this year's draft. And so for them to find this value at pick 32, maybe that's why they didn't trade back, Colton.
Yeah, and I mean, we went over our running backs just last week, I believe it was. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. And we talked about it. Like this running back class outside of Love is just meh. And so taking on in the first round with that capital over something that could actually be useful, you got the same guy. After Love, it's pretty much all the same talent almost. So it's like you can get the same talent, and when they draft again at the end of the second, yes, there's a need, but at the same time, don't be reaching too hard.
Exactly. And Colton, that has completed this year's first round NFL draft. What was the biggest surprise in this draft, and which Jim Carrey moment did you appreciate the most?
Oh, man, I loved all of it, but the Rhino got me. I couldn't handle it. So the Rhino, A+ job to you, Dustin, and your your acting skills. What a phenomenal performance you put together for us. You and Jim Carrey couldn't tell the difference between when you were his stunt double on this one. So congratulations. This is definitely the best one yet. Impressive. I loved it. In terms of my most shocking moments is the fact that Omar Cooper and Elijah Surratt both go first round. And the guy I'm thinking of, Kevin Concepcion, or KC Concepcion, didn't make it to the first round over a couple of other wide receivers whom I think is I think he has a little more skill and I like him a little bit more. But that's the surprising moment for me, is that those two went over him. Not that those two went in the first round, because I definitely hear it, but that they just went over him.
Yeah, and it maybe fit for the teams, because if you go back to the Buffalo Bills drafting Omar Cooper, you were saying it right here on the podcast about how, well, they already got Shakir and Concepcion. They're very similar players. And then you look at who drafted Surratt, the Patriots. Romeo Doubs and Concepcion have similar play styles, or if he isn't, then perhaps A.J. Brown has a similar play style where he can be that fast guy, the target hog, and maybe that's the difference here, Colton. You know, if these wide receivers, if they're getting drafted in that top 40 picks, I mean, the early part of the second round of the NFL draft is still a huge sweet spot for wide receivers, and you may be looking just for KC Concepcion to get drafted in that early second round, and he'll still provide a ton of fantasy value if he can get inside that top 50.
Yeah, still looking out for it, but yeah, this was fantastic, man. I had a great time, so it was great.
Yep. I hope everybody enjoyed the podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast. Again, you can find us at FF Healers on Twitter X. You can find Colton at FF Captain 22. You can help us out by sharing, liking, giving us the 5-star review on any of the podcast platforms. We appreciate you and we thank you. And I will say, if you see on the intro, we now have Fantasy Football Healer stickers. And for the first 10 people that decide that they want one of these stickers, please DM me and let me know that you shared the podcast and you rated the podcast, and I'll be sure to send you a sticker in the mail. First 10.
There you have it.
At FF Healers on Twitter X.
If you want a sticker, get to it.
We are so thankful for all of you listeners. And Colton, bring us out.
Salut.